Whew, my goodness, these temperatures are insane right now. How am I ever going to cool off? Oh, wait. I have an idea.
4th of July, what a day to celebrate the United States of America. So if you're having a party, you might want to know, what do you serve with cheese on Independence Day? Firecrackers.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning and happy Independence Day to one and all with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. We hope that you have a bang. Happy 4th, Edward. How are you?
I was good. I was real good. It's hot.
Wait. Why do you use past tense was good? Why are you not presently good?
It's irritable.
You should be good.
Outside.
Your Yankees snapped that 7-game losing streak against the AAA team and the Minnesota Twins. They've won 23 of 26 against. You should be good. Why are you not good?
Well, if we could play the Twins and the D behind.
You remember the team now? It's good to know.
Yep. I'm investor. We would probably win the doggone Eastern Division. But as long as we make wild card, I'm okay with it. But like I said, everything was good until
what?
I almost cussed. Fool in the pool reared its ugly head.
Oh, we got plenty more Poolside Adventures coming your way. It's been much anticipated. In fact, I got a message yesterday from a person who didn't even watch the show. This is true story. Hey, it's been so hot outside. I hope you have some pool bits for us. I was like, absolutely. We'll take care of it.
Right. I have pool bits. That is this. If you can, try to take a dip in a pool today, jump in an ocean, a river, something, cool yourself off. Now be careful where you're jumping. Make sure it's the right place to jump. Drink plenty of water. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from caffeine products. These are pool bits that we should be giving our fans, not you with some of the most corny blank jokes in the world. Most of our fans don't like it. They just don't. I don't want to hurt
Where are most of these fans don't like it from? Where are you at?
I don't want to rat on our people. And I don't want you to, and I'm not good at making people's self-esteem feel bad. So I want you to feel good. If you think your Fool in the Pool is working and it's great,
I think people like it.
We'll let you do that. But I've had to put out a lot of fires behind you with some of our fans. But we continue.
All right. But likewise with you. But we'll let that go. Hey,
well, that would be for different reasons.
What was that?
It would be for different reasons. It wouldn't be because I'm a Fool in the Pool.
I don't know about that. How about the riveting World Cup action? Give us some in-depth analysis. I know you were into it. Argentina and Cape Verde on Friday night, Edward, Independence Day Eve. I mean, this was a story in itself with the soccer. I know you were into it, right? Oh, are you gonna be the anti-soccer poet guy now? Go ahead.
I watched, I think, 27 seconds of it. I knew Argentina would win.
Okay.
And they did. Verde is out.
What a story they were. I mean, we're talking about a country that has got a population of 529,000 people, and Argentina's got 46 million. I mean, this is your true David versus Goliath, if you ever had one in sports.
Yeah, it would be, because Argentina, I think a lot of people think they're one of the favorites. I still stick with France, as everybody is more than likely staying with the chalk. I think you said Spain, which is still a great pick also.
Yeah,
and
Brazil's up there too, probably 4th or 5th. Our man James Clark took them at the start. Yep.
All of us want the USA, but they're not going to win it all. But we just hope they can keep winning until they run into one of those heavyweight bruisers. Well, it'd be great to see USA win the whole thing, but I don't see that.
Tell you what, if USA and Mexico play each other, and Mexico's got get by, is it England? I think coming up Sunday night. I think it's England. Yeah, if they play each other, you talk about the world exploding. I mean, goodness, people will go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They'll go gaga for that if that happens in a matchup in the World Cup. But I don't know if you've been keeping up with the ratings, sir, but the ratings have been through the roof for the soccer. So, and it'll come across ticker in a minute. The peak audience for the Bosnia game on Wednesday night was 31.8 million, 24.4 million according to Fox Sports in terms of English language watching it. And by comparison, obviously the Super Bowl gets over 120 million, but the Knicks Spurs, which had its highest rating since 98, Bulls Jazz, had a 20.6 average million viewing rating. So it surpassed the NBA Finals, which did an awesome number. Now, Balogun gets the red card. I don't know if you kept up with that the other night in the second half, and he's obviously one of the key cogs for this team. What do you make of that as they get ready for their big matchup coming up on Monday in Seattle against Belgium, as they have gone from a slight favorite, I think it was at 1.1 minus 160 to even money once the red card happened. Now look at it, and I see Belgium's now at minus 118 to USA's minus 104. So Belgium's like a 52% to USA 48% favorite. This is a total coin flip. Call it in the air, heads or tails.
Let's just hope it lands USA. The red flag. I can equate it. I can only equate everything to basketball. There's a rule book. Soccer has a rule book just like basketball. And the referees are supposed to know the rule book. They're supposed to know the rules, front, back, sideways, up, down. And you enforce the rule book. The better officials understand how you apply rules in the game. They don't apply them for their benefit, but you understand. Example in basketball. Might have LeBron James. They're in the playoffs. He's got 5 fouls. You know the next foul, he's out. Close game, game 7, let's say, whatever, elimination game. And he does a, bump me foul. Now, defined to the book, it's a foul. But the referee may not call it with the idea that, man, I make this call now. LeBron's out of the game. It's a questionable foul. There is contact, but it's a little I'm not going to be part of the story. I'm going to play on. Now, the team that got fouled is going to say, hey, it's a foul. What are we doing? And as a referee, you can't go over and say, according to the book, it is a foul, but because of the situation, I'm not calling it. That coach would go berserk. But that coach should also understand if it was reversed and it was his star guy, referee may keep him in the game, so to speak, let the players win or lose the game. So I look at the soccer in that same way. Was the intent malicious to hurt him on the trip, or was it some kind of accidental contact, but it's still a red card? And I don't expect the referees to know, wait a minute, if I give him a red card, he's out. He's going to be out. And that's going to hurt U.S. You can't do that. You basically have to referee the game ahead of time. But I think a good official knows how to administer the rules. I always like to call it manage the rules in a game. I'm not saying circumvent rules for a certain team, certain player, but those in the know what I'm talking about. And that's how I look at this.
What do you make of this whole VAR? That's the video assistant the video assistant referee that's used. The technology now we have to review the game-changing plays and correct those clear and obvious errors. What do you like the VAR? Because everybody that's, whether they're a soccer geek or not, they have been screaming about this from the high heavens the last 24, 48 hours. And I don't usually get that upset about it. Although I did tell you recently, I am not a fan. I'm sure we'll bring this up to one of our baseball guests we have on, like when we get Tim Kirchin back on or someone else. I do not like the new automated baseball review. I hate it. Because
you don't like ABS.
No, I hate the ABS. I hate it. To me, it slows the game that was starting to speed up a bit down. It slows it down. And every time there's a call, we're seeing a guy tap his helmet or a catcher call for it, or it's constant. And I know they get the 2, you lose them. And I've seen teams lose them in the first inning. I've seen teams keep them all the way through the game. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like you either have it on everything or just get rid of it. But what about for soccer? Have you paid? First of all, you probably haven't watched enough of it to pay much attention to it. But has it moved you or captivated you to have strong feelings? I'm amazed people are having these strong feelings. Generally, if they have strong feelings, they're either rooting for a team A or B, they're invested in it. It's one of the two reasons that they have the strong feelings. So,
well, I think when you go to replay, which by the way, I'm in favor ABS and replay. I don't have a problem with it. I think you're mad because some of the calls in baseball, when they call quote New York, they're looking at the video 18 different ways. Now it's taking time. The ball strike is easy. You put it up on a screen. Well, I was wrong. I was right. Boom. Let's move on. That is a problem when a replay takes more than, I'm going to say, a minute. More than a minute. Anything less than a minute or less, it's not a big deal. But when it's taken 5-6 minutes for one play, that's an issue. Either he was safe or he was out. It's not that hard to see. I don't care how many angles you use. That needs to be spruced up a little. But here's the danger with instant replay. If instant replay shows a foul, shows corruption, shows a mistake, you can't just overlook it. You're going to have to agree with it. But even there, the call goes back, like in baseball, goes back to New York, wherever the governed people are watching it, and their word is final. Now, that doesn't mean they're always right. I've seen some baseball calls not overturned that should have been, based on what I saw in the replay, overturned, but I'm not the one they're calling to overturn it. So that's what you have to be careful about replay.
Yeah, it's a tricky line. That's for sure. It really is. But a lot going on in the world of sports. Obviously, you also have today, I know you're into it, Ed, the big hot dog eating contest. Who you going for your guy Joey Chestnut, who has a 93% chance of winning his 18th title according to Poly Market. He plans to eat over 76 hot dogs today.
I watched that thing a couple years back, or when it first got. I can't watch that. First of all, I'm not a hot dog eater, and the way they.
What do you hate more, hot dogs or Fool in the Pool?
Oh boy, wow, those are close. That's close. I can't make.
What if they made you eat a hot dog with the Fool in the Pool? Well, you might go bonkers.
I would. I would.
I had to put you in a loony bin.
I wouldn't mind a hamburger eating contest because I like hamburgers.
So how many hamburgers could you eat if you were trying to win it for? And I'm gonna get you really in trouble. Do you believe that these competitive eaters are indeed athletes, or do you think it's no? Like, you're shaking your head now. You don't think they have to train? I was listening to one of the guests, not Joey Chestnut, but on a Sirius XM show the other day. He talked about how he has to have certain water to get ready for this. Drink hot water in the heat, by the way. And all the things he has to do to prepare. I mean, that's like training that athletes go through. You don't think this is an athletic event? You say no. You're shaking your head. No, I don't think so.
To me, to be an athletic event.
Is competitive eating a sport?
It's not a sport because to me, in a sport, you got to go from point A to a point B. They're at point A the whole time, and they're just shoving it down. And they're not even eating the dog with the bun. And then they're dipping the buns in the water to make it easier to go down. You are traumatizing your digestive system. And that's, to me, is not a sport. I don't think it is. It's good to see what our fans would think if people out there think it is. And also, I'm going to add on to what Matt just put out there. Would you do it? And if so, what food would you want to be in a contest?
Well, yeah, hot dog. You can do different things. They do wing eating contests. There are all kinds of eating contests.
Pizza.
I tell you what, I not post the health and wellness couldn't do it. Wouldn't want to do it. Couldn't do it. I get sick thinking about it. Do I admire them the same way I admire athletes? No, I used to scoff at it like you do, but I do think there's a certain training element, and there are certain pieces to it, as far as taking care of your body and how you prepare for it, that it is in many ways an athletic event. I mean, if we're calling some of the other things that you don't think are athletic events, that I think that has to be considered that. And what he's done, he's a marvel. Now, do I call him the greatest athlete of all time? There are people that are saying that, by the way. I don't think he's the greatest athlete of all time. That's a little much for me. I'll pump the brakes on that for Joey Chestnut. But I do think there is there's certainly, it takes a special individual and a special mentality and things to do what he's doing, and others that are at that level, the Kobayashis of the world. Yeah, I'm not one that watches either, but there are people that get into it. They are people that get into it. They really are.
Oh yeah, and people putting the so-called shekels down for it, and we'll sit TV front and watch it and root. It goes back to, I remember when people would say, like NASCAR, Indy race car drivers, oh, that's not a sport. All they do is sit in the car. They ain't doing nothing. Well, they're going from point A to point B, and let me see you go 242 miles an hour with 2 inches between you and the bumper in front of you.
Yeah.
That's a sport. But eating, thrown down with the dogs, it's a sideshow that does gain people's interest. I would not be one part of it. My younger days, and I'm hungry. Oh, I would throw down 2, 3, 4 pizzas. But now it would be death. I would not mess with that stuff.
We're going to take a timeout. We've got plenty to do on this episode of 757 Sports Talk and an Independence Day weekend special. We're going to get Ed's take and mine on Dorian Finney-Smith's new home of the National Basketball Association. Virginia Wesleyan is no more. It has a new name. What does that mean? We'll get Coach's take on that too. Plus, we have our top 25 list from the East Coast Live basketball event from last weekend that we were at, held at the Henrico Sports and Event Center in the Richmond area. We'll play some interviews from that too. And Carl Francis, Director of Communications from the NFL Players Association, stops by to talk about the big Hampton Roads Youth Foundation extravaganza next weekend, including its football camp, its annual football camp, and so much that is attached to that weekend extravaganza in his hometown of Hampton, Virginia. Plus, the debut of a new game called $5 or a soda. Not $5 and a soda, as Daryl likes to say. $5 or a soda. We'll explain as we roll things along here on Cova Sports TV. You're watching 757 Sports Talk, where we have all kinds of goodies in store for you. Stay tuned for this quick word from those who help make it possible. Back in a moment.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
I'm here with Highland School Class of 2027 combo guard Jordan Hunter, 6'3", and a big performance today, 24 points as his team beat Blue Ridge 70-61 or 63, I forget what it was, here in the East Coast Live at the Henrico Sports and Event Center in Richmond. You just got to Highland, Jordan. I think you played last year at Hargrave, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Tell me about it. You've had just only a couple of practices, but you've been in this DMV Live, East Coast Live. You played O'Connell, the Matha. You played today against Blue Ridge. You're going to win, and you're balling out. How's it feel?
Feel good. My teammates trust me. I've known them for a little while, so it's not really like a big adjustment for me, but I've just been getting acclimated to my teammates, and they've been trusting me, been attacking the paint well, so it's just been good.
Yeah, definitely showed the shifting gears and be able to score it from inside and out. And you play on the travel circuit with Loaded, I believe it is, Team Loaded. How is your role different or similar from travel scene AAU to here in high school?
It's a little adjustment, you know. We have Monty here, so he's dominant on the ball, which is me. I'm off ball a little bit, so it's a good adjustment, but it's the same thing for real. Just play my game and get to it.
Sure, Monty is sorry at the point that Bulldogs defensively, you get your teammate. Isaiah Carter's a top 100 guy nationally in 2028. You're now a top 100 to 150 guy nationally in your class. What do you think of the rankings? Do you pay much attention to it? And what do you think right now kind of separates you from other prospects out there that college coaches are watching?
I think my speed is a real big separation. I feel like I'm the fastest guard in the country. Nobody can stay in front of me, so that's really the main difference right there, I feel like.
In your mindset, when the game got a little closer, it was like a 19-point lead to get down to 3. Did you kind of say, I'm taking it over, or just kind of come naturally to you?
It just comes naturally. I just know my ability that God gave me, and I just try to use the best of my ability and just do it.
Sure. Career to 4-star, but everything can get better. What are the things you're consciously working on in your game to show college coaches why they should recruit you and take your own play up a level?
My decision making, I feel like getting in the paint, playing off 2, I feel like I got to work on that. But other than that, on my defense as well. But that's really the main 2 things I got to work on.
You watch hoops, right? So you watch guys on too. Who are the guys you like to study and emulate on the court that you watch in college or pro that you enjoy watching or take parts of out of their game?
I like watching A-Cuff. I like John Wall, Darius Garland, fast quick guards, Westbrook, people that get downhill.
Makes sense. You got some similar traits to those guys. Recruiting, it's starting to take shape for you. Who are the schools in the picture right now, and who are you hoping to hear from? Let's start with the schools in the picture right now.
Michigan State, UVA, VTech, Oklahoma State. Those schools have been reaching out so far. Townsend. Okay. Those have been the schools that have been reaching out a lot so
far. Any couple of schools you're hoping to hear from that you haven't yet, or dream offers that you've had growing up as a kid, or?
No, I don't really have a dream offer. I always just watch basketball. I feel like whatever's the best fit for me. Mississippi State as well. I've been talking to.
Okay.
But whatever's the best fit for me, I feel like it's going to play itself out.
Come on, let's run here. In terms of what you're looking for in a school, I know there's always different things on the checklist, but what are the things that matter most to you as you go through this process? Because I'm sure you have dreams of one day playing professionally, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Just right fit for me. A place I can grow my game, and they're going to trust me to develop and just allow me to play my game and to just play at least my first year. That's something I'm just looking forward to.
Sure. And lastly, what are the goals you have for the rest of the summer and then in the wintertime with Highland? You're going to play a tough schedule. You're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you, and I'm sure you have some things you want to accomplish, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. I'm trying to be top 50. I'm trying to be Gatorade in Virginia. So those are really the main 2 goals. Just kill every game, just get to it, just play my game and show everybody what I can do.
Got a killer instinct, Jordan Hunter from Highland School. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
Hey kids, we're back with joke time. Why did the teacher jump into the pool? She wanted to test the water. Get it? Test the water? Let's go back to 757 Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the testy Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk. You heard from Jordan Hunter of the Highland School. And we now take a look at, as our man Derek chimes in, he's eaten 4 hot dogs and a contest and walked away, got a free meal. Not a bad day there, Derek.
And Derek, he wasn't even in the contest. He happened to be there, and he ate 4, and they gave him the free meal.
There you go. Not bad. Dorian Finney-Smith is on the move, Edward. He has been traded. Yes, the guy that started at Norcom High School in Portsmouth, 2-time state player of the year. He's had a really nice career in the National Basketball Association as sort of that role man, journeyman, if you will. Was not an all-star level player, but certainly was a top-level recruit coming out of high school. He's really made a nice name for himself. He is 33 years of age. Of course, played at Virginia Tech and with the Florida Gators. Dallas Mavericks was a key cog to their playoff runs, and then when he left Dallas, goes to Brooklyn, got traded from Brooklyn to the Lakers, and was that 3-and-D guy for them. And then he signed a 4-year, $53 million deal just last July with the Rockets, who sent him to the Charlotte Hornets. Now, again, he's played most of his career, as I mentioned, with Dallas. Was really not even a part-time, a full-time starter for more than 3 seasons there, Ed. But my question to you is, going to the Hornets, is this a rebirth for Dodo, or is this the end of the road for the guy from the 757? I know this is a tricky question. And by the way, we did our top 10 baseball list of guys from the 757. We're going to do one for football as we get closer to the football season. That's going to be a tough list. And then a top 10 basketball list, because people have been asking about, you're going to do one for each of those sports as well. And narrowing down the football one is going to be, that's going to be difficult, because then you ask, what's your criteria as far as their high school days, their pro days, what have you. Certainly Finney-Smith is one of those guys that will be on the basketball list, but what do you make of this move as he goes to Buzz City with the Hornets?
Well, first of all, I still haven't got the whole details of the trade? Were there any other players involved? Just draft picks?
It was just 2 second-round draft choices.
Okay. When I first heard it, and I heard it from you, I'm excited about it.
I'm sorry. I about 3 future second-round draft choices. I'm make sure I got it right. It's 3 future second-round draft choices over the next 7 years, and it opens roster flexibility after the acquisitions for the Rockets of Bogdan Bogdanovic and Marcus Smart, and creates $13 million, according to what Shams Charania of ESPN reported.
Well, a couple things in this. Number one, I like it because I do take in some Hornet games during the season. I'll get to see him up close. I haven't seen him up close since he's been in the league.
So it's all about you. Got it. Okay.
It's me being happy because it'll allow me to see this kid play. It's a kid that I've seen in high school, somewhat know, and he's had a good NBA career, as you said, not all-star level, but he's a type of guy teams want. He's been traded now, or this is his 6th team, and people say, nobody wants him. No, it's the other way around.
15.
15?
15.
Okay,
Dallas, Brooklyn, Lakers, Houston Hornets. 15.
Okay. Yeah. It's more or less people who want him. He fits. He plays his role well, and he's been a decent defender, especially on some of the tough guys in the league. Mm-hmm. And at times he's not a big scorer, but he can get you points. So I think it's a situation, and it's not a trade and dump. He's got multiple years left. So some guys get traded, and 2 days later they get waived just to take their contract off the books. They're not doing that with him. I don't think they're going to do that with him, since he just signed the extension last summer with Houston. I think he fits the young Hornets in terms of the veteran coming in, gives him a little bit of veteran presence, and he'll play. The guy they had doing that the last couple of years, now Dorian's not as old, Todd Gibson, 39, 40 years old. Would come off the bench, play 3-4 minutes a game. There's a veteran influence. I don't think they're bringing him back. So Dorian, who's not, what's he, man? He can't be past 30 years old.
No, he's 33. He's 33.
He's 33. Okay.
And Taj Gibson was more of a 4-man, like power forward type.
Yeah, bigger guy.
But he can make, I think, more than the production, Ed, because his numbers went down drastically last year. I mean, he can hit open shots. I think it's going to be about leadership for a young team that's in need of it.
Yeah, that's that role. Thing. Yeah. That role he'll fit, and he'll get time. I like it. It's a chance for, I guess you would call Charlotte or the Wizards, our area team, the closest team to Hampton Roads. So I
don't know that we claim a team in Hampton Roads or even in Virginia so much. I mean, I know people, Richmond and North will go see the Wizards play, and then Tidewater South will go see, south of Tidewater. In Virginia, that is. There is south of Tidewater, but we'll go see the Hornets play. But
I think there's reasons behind that. Number one, neither the Wizards or Hornets are big-time playoff teams.
True.
And people just jump on winners most of the time. Of course, then I say we have all these Commandos or Commander fans jumping on Washington, so why can't you join the Wizards? And I had somebody tell me, a big Washington fan tell me, he said, because they suck, they're the worst team in the NBA. But it's your closest team. You do the football team, so
well, yeah, I was going to say the Redskins turned Commanders were that for a long time, or not the worst team in the NFL. They were among the worst teams. Now, they obviously, since Jane Daniels has been drafted, they had that magical run at the NFC Championship game last year. He got dinged up. They didn't play as well defensively. We'll see what year 3 of the JD era has to offer for the commies in Washington, the nation's capital. But I see what you're saying. It's just it's a little different sometimes for football than basketball to make that total comp, even though I know you as the hoops coach want to always do that. So
right. People, NFL is the most popular sport in America. I'll admit it. I mean, for me, it's the NBA, college basketball, really. But it is football, and I really don't have an issue with it. And the reason is less games. Every game means more. And the NBA has one of the worst reputations because they have the worst commissioner. They have load management.
So you put Silver below Bettman, below Goodell, and below Manfred, huh? You put them below all 3 of those guys.
Yes, okay. I do.
No Christmas cards for you coming from Mr. Adam this December.
No, but I think Adam Silver would be a great character actor in the movie series Men in Black.
Wow.
Aliens. One of them aliens from that gets zapped.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all.
You know, I got bit by a bee yesterday. Say about that.
It's good. It's good.
And it happened in the pool, believe it or not. I learned you if you smack a bee with one of your flippers like this, is smack it. Don't go to pick it up and throw it. That was mistake numero uno for me.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. Now he has the insect world against him at Fool in the Pool. Nobody wants to see Fool in the Pool.
Well, the bee was buzzing around. I smacked it with the flipper. I thought it was good to go, and then I got stung.
That was here in his domain. He's out buzzing around. He ain't buzzing around in your house. So, and then you decided to take him on. So he said, okay, Fool in the Pool, I got you. Here's a sting or two for you. And I'm glad. I'm glad that bee did that to wake you up. And I hope, I don't want to wish ill will on anybody, but I hope maybe some other bees will convince you to be somewhere else.
We'll see if the Hornets with Dorian Finney-Smith can sting some Eastern Conference teams on their way to
they're not
playoff berth.
They're not.
Just because they got rid of Mr. Ball, you think they take a big back, a step back is what you're thinking?
Well, they got rid of Bridges.
They lost 4 starters from their team that
Ball.
made the play-in.
You know, the Ball, LaMelo Ball, let me just say this. I hated that dude coming out of, well, he played over in Europe. I don't think he didn't play college ball.
He wasn't too gung-ho about you either, but go ahead.
Yeah. One of the reasons I was mad, he didn't know who I was. But he became one of my favorite point guards in the NBA. I like watching him play because he would get you the ball through the eye of the needle, and he could get you some shots. Now, you got to put up with some of his crazy shots and some of his ridiculous passes that usually the cheerleader or the scorekeeper caught. But that surprised me when they got rid of him. And it's a team coming, and I'm a little. I like the Finney-Smith trade, but I'm saying to myself, what are y'all doing? Because you're on that path to start becoming a playoff team. I still like to think they are. They're just going about it a little different.
Okay. All right, we're going to step aside. We got more coming your way, including a couple more sound bites from the East Coast Live event, plus Parlay Palooza. You saw Ed's a couple weeks ago. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. That was his Parlay Palooza. He said, no. Change my prediction for the Rays. Now he wants to go back to it because they've won, 8 in a row? Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that, $5. You'll see mine, and we'll debut $5 or a soda coming up in just a little bit. You're watching 757 Sports Talk, and they're watching where, Edward?
Cova Sports TV, where you should like, share, and definitely subscribe.
Now this from Il Giardino.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
All Are you with Will Bronwyn of John Hanley High School, Winchester, the reigning VHSL Class 4 state champions, as he's competing in the East Coast Live with his team at the Henrico Sports Center in Richmond, the heart of the 804 here. Will, congratulations. You just recently made a commitment to play your college hoops Division I for Mount St. Mary's. So tell us about the choice. What made you choose the Mountain, Coach Donnie Lynn?
Yeah, man. Coach Donnie and Coach Keith, they've been talking to me for a long time, man. The relationship that we have built over the last 2, even 3 years was amazing. And then when I went up there on my visit, I just felt at peace up there. It just felt amazing. I felt so much more at home there, even than I expected to. And then the hoops is great. The coaching is great. I think it fits my style of play really well, and I'm just really excited to be there.
What did Coach Lynn and the staff convey like most about your game, and what's their vision and plans for you as far as how they'll use you and how you'll fit their system?
I mean, I think the thing they like most about my game is my shooting, which stands out all the time. But I think Mount St. Mary's is a place that I can really reach my potential. I mean, I've shown many flashes of being way more than a shooter, and I think anyone who's watched me play knows that. So I think being at a place like Mount, I'm going to be able to play to my strengths and make them super strengths and make my weaknesses a little bit better as well.
Did the other appealing parts of it come in the form of, A, Coach Lynn's had some Virginia guys develop him wherever he's been, head coach and assistant, and B, they were in the NCAA tournament, I think it was 2 years ago?
Yes, all that's amazing. I mean, being in the NCAA tournament, watching them play is really cool. I mean, it's an hour and 20 minutes away from my house. My mom gets to come to all the game. That's a very good positive for me. And Coach Lynn he's such a positive guy. He's a lot like my high school coach right now, Coach Zach, where they just feed into you. They give you all they got all the time, and that just is a very nice place to play, and it's going to be amazing for me to continue to grow as a player.
Your journey and story is pretty cool. We saw you burst on the scene as a freshman. I think it was like 93s or 73s, whatever it was. Sophomore year, we interviewed you at the St. James facility there in VHSL Live. You were starting to get some attention. Played really well, all-state guy. Then last year, injury happens. But you guys win a state championship, make history, you get back on the court. Take me through the emotions, the highs and lows of a year ago, because you were preseason number 1. You had some struggles, but it was a glorious finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I think I only played 7 games last year, 6 of them being in the region tournament and the state tournament. So, I mean, in James in the Bible, it says that God uses trials to make you a perfect in your character, lacking in nothing. So that is something that I leaned on heavy, and watching the games from the sideline was really hard, but I believe that it's all for the best, and it's all going to make me stronger in the end. And then, yeah, just the ups and downs. I mean, I know I can play. I love playing this game. No matter what happens, I'm going to keep playing this game, and I'm going to keep working hard and trying to reach it. But the culmination of everything with the state championship, it's still probably the best day of my life. It was just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it hadn't happened at Hanley High School in so long. I know Coach Zach Harrells-Rook and Christian and yourself and Kyron have been knocking on the door, dreaming about this opportunity. It's sort of a multi-pronged question for you, Will, and take it however you want, any direction you want here. But you mentioned your faith being a big reason that you fall back on it, and the trust you have in that and God, and also your teammates and coaches pushing you. But a lot of kids could get down about that. The recruiting piece, people fall off about you. Listen on the injury, how you've recovered from it, because you're probably not at full strength, but you're getting better from what happened to you.
So, yeah, I really did actually get really down. During the season when I missed all those games, there was definitely some points where I was in some places I didn't want to be. But that happens when you think it's basketball and God. It's your athleticism and God. It's playing in college and God. It needs to be God and nothing else. No matter what happens, I've got God, and that's what's going to be amazing. And once you really believe that, then it's God plus basketball. So if basketball gets taken away for 6 months like it did for me, you still have God. And when it comes back, you thank Him for it, and you enjoy it, and you keep playing. And that's just the mindset you have to have.
Now, you had like multiple injuries, right? Because you had first, was it the knee, or what happened?
So in August, I had a sports hernia surgery, and I came back to play the second game of the season, and then I rolled my ankle, and it was out for 4 weeks. And then the first game back from my ankle roll, I tore my MCL. I thought I was out for the season, but as I just progressed, I mean, against Brian in the state semis, I couldn't feel my knee. I was on so much icy hot, so much ibuprofen. I was in halftime just like sitting there like, I don't know if I can go back out in the second half. So it was really gutsy. After the season ended, I took about a month off after the state championship game because I needed to get it back. So I've been working on my game for about a month now, and I'm already seeing growth and leaps and bounds.
Last one here. You've already won the state championship. You want to go back to that, every kid does. But for you to go with a bang, I mentioned you're close to 200 3-pointers made. I know some records could be in sight for you individually, scoring-wise, threes. I know it's more than that for you. But give me kind of, now that your recruitment's done, do you kind of play free, stress-free? And what's kind of your mindset going into this year as a senior? Because a lot of kids also would leave their schools. You've been loyal to John Hanley in public school basketball to finish up your career from start to finish here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm one of the, if not the best players in the state. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there like on my team, mellow team like Matthew and Corey, and then my guys like JR and Troy that we just played. I think I'm up there with every single one of them, and I just want to go out there and have a great season. And I just want to prove that, like, you throw all 5 of us out of the court or all 10 of the top kids in the state on the court, and you can't tell who's number 1, you can't tell who's number 10, because I'm out there giving as much work as they're getting work. And I think I showed that today going up against Troy. Great kid, great person, love Troy a lot. I love playing against him every time we go up against it. But I mean, I think I have a chance to score 1,000 in a season. That's what I'd like to see me do here. And then obviously go back to back, and then obviously just pour into my younger teammates. We have 2029 Asher Madison, 2030 Drayden Davis, that they have a lot of potential. And if I can just pour into them and make them better, that's just what being on the turf's about.
Great story of perseverance and also very fun to watch. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you heard from Will Brondwin, John Hanley High School in Winchester. He's closing in on 200 career-made three-pointers, one of the standouts from the East Coast Live event, headed to Mount St. Mary's to play for Donnie Lind. So welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, and always interact with us. And we did our top 25 list that we will show for folks. It's going to be posted on Virginia Preps with some write-ups and more content coming up from last week's East Coast Live, which featured about 140 teams. Now, we want to preface this by saying you and I did not see every team that played. This isn't the definitive top 25 players in the event list. It was the 25 players that most grabbed our attention and impressed us. So let's put that disclaimer out there before somebody, and we want somebody to do that. Say, hey, what about this kid from Colonial Forge or Fairfax, this private school, this out-of-state school? We want that. Doesn't mean we're slighting your kid. Doesn't mean we think that player isn't among the 25 best or worthy of it. It's who we saw, and then we might have seen somebody. It's not so much we went through this with a fine-tooth comb, though, afterwards. So here we go, and we do have 5 or 6 differences as we put it up on the screen, and we'll zoom in on them. We'll start with your list first because we let you, for the MVP's sake, pick a guy from out of the state who's got ACC schools galore looking at him, like Wake Forest, Clemson, NC State. And that's Thomas Vickery from Myers Park. He's new to Myers Park, but he was your MVP, best player you saw, correct?
Yes. He caught my eye early, often. He had a great game against Petersburg and continued it.
Let's go down this in alphabetical order from the MVP below the next 24 from last name A to Z here. Kelvin Pop Anderson from Petersburg. We played his interview last week. He certainly raised his stock. And oh, by the way, picked up an offer from UAB this week. Committing just this week from a Highland. He was the guy that really impressed you. The guard, the point guard, Amani Asari is going to Fran McCaffrey and Penn. Nice pickup for Franny there.
Yeah, this kid's smallish in size, maybe 5'9". Lefty can burn you with the shot, can get to the hole quickly, plays hellacious defense on you, and he leads his team. Highland is a very talented team, all-star. I think I counted at least 9, maybe 10, 11 Division I kids, and he is one of them. And when I heard he was going to Penn, that tells me he probably sits in the front of the class and he knows what he's doing. So that was cool to see too. But I'm anxious to see what kind of year that kid has. He really impressed me.
Yeah, I was most impressed with his on-ball defense, which was, as you said, hellacious there. Moving down, King Baycott of Petersburg. He's been hyped ever since he walked into high school. He's been one of the most documented 8th graders turned 9th graders, and I'm sure going to be sophomores in the nation as well. Trey Barnhart from Kellum High School, Norm Hassel's Knights, figures to be one of the best in the 7.57 this coming year. He averaged 25.5 points per game at VA, or I should say at East Coast Live, 27 against Gainesville, and 27 against Mount Vernon, his high water marks there. And he'll be competing, I think, for Player of the Year honors in the region in 5A. J.J. Bell from Garfield. You like Cam Brangman Kane of Blue Ridge. Will Brondon, who we just heard from Hanley. Brady Burnett, who we heard from last week on the show. The sharpshooter from St. Christopher's. He's got all the Patriots. Ivy's looking at him. Isaiah Carter, who you'll hear from later in the show from Highland. He's one of the top rising juniors in the nation. And oh, by the way, he got offered this week by Kansas to join recent offers from Maryland and Syracuse. Cam Claiborne, Petersburg. Talk about, as we go down the list here with the C's, Brody Corley from James River. He was the first guy that caught our eye on Friday last week.
Corley is about 6'5", 6'6".
No, he's bigger than that. He's about 6'7"-ish. Yeah.
Okay, 6'7". Tough insider. I mean, continuous motor, always around a rebound, great hands, scores inside, but he can step out too. He's not just a back to the basket guy. but tremendous on the rebounds, which you don't see much with kids, high school kids anymore. That's what caught my attention. He's really, and defensively, he will bang you. He got high IQ. For a big man, he's got tremendous basketball IQ. Really like that kid.
Another kid you can talk about, because I think you coached him for a year, Quentin Cruz at Nansman River, who's getting better and better.
Yeah, he's a youngster, was a 8th grader when I was there. He's come up, he keeps coming, and I thought this kid would definitely varsity. He's a 9th grader, one of the best basketball IQs. Again, I'll use that phrase, and which is big in basketball, especially for a point guard. One of the best basketball IQs of a young kid I've ever seen in coaching for a young kid. And I don't think he's done anything to change my mind on that. I've seen him grow and play all the way up to his junior year. I think he's going to be a good one. Recruiting-wise, people ask me, I had some people ask me there since they said, well, you coached him, you saw him when he was younger, based on it. I think he could play some low Division I somewhere and be effective. Remember, when I say somebody goes somewhere, I'm thinking by their sophomore year, they're in the rotation of 8, 9 players. That's how I gauge it. Because you can have anybody go, oh, yeah, he can play Carolina. He'd be the 15th man. And he's not going to play. So I like to say the kid by sophomore year will be 8th, 9th in the rotation, 8 or 9. I like Quentin Cruz.
Then finish up your list here. Jackson Frazier, George Marshall, a couple of Blue Ridge guys, and Isaiah Goodson, the former Princess Anne guard, who threw down a monster jam before halftime on Sunday. Keaton Gregory of Trinity Episcopal, who got an offer from Navy. Another Blue Ridge big man, Hudson Hatch. Jordan Hunter, who you had on the show earlier from Highland. You've been a big fan of Deuce Donnell Jarrett of Woodside for a couple of years now. Rashawn Newsom, Oscar Smith, Jeremiah Parrish of Patriot. Rashad Shaw of Lansdowne, who I shouldn't even say rather quietly, but he quietly put up some big numbers, 21.5 points per game to go with 5 assists per contest at the East Coast Live event. Trey Tomlin of John Marshall averaged over 30 a game last year, and he's got Division I attention. And Connor Wilcox of Atlee, LC Bird, sharpshooting guard, Shamir Williams. So that is your list. Any other final closing thoughts on those guys on that list?
Well, the Jordan Hunter, who we just saw, this kid can be tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
Bouncy athlete.
By the way, he's my MVP, as you'll see here. He was my MVP choice.
Yeah, so that goes to show you how he's going to be a very good one. You just said Kansas along with Maryland, Syracuse offers. I can see that. He's high. He's high.
No. That was Isaiah Carter, the junior.
Oh, okay, I'm getting them mixed up.
You're getting them mixed up, yeah.
Hunter, he's only going to be a junior, right?
No. Hunter's going to be a senior. Carter's going to be the junior.
Carter's a junior. Okay.
No.
I like both those kids by far. Hunter is impressive. Hunter is very impressive.
Yeah, he was the MVP to me, just the way he scored it and efficiently, didn't have a lot of wasted motion and dribbles. And I think there are some that wonder about his ability to run a team as far as passing goes. But this kid, to me, he gets rid of the rock, gets back, let him score, because he took over the second half of that game against Blue Ridge last Sunday, who's got obviously a lot of talent.
And I'm going to make a statement as we leave my list to go to yours. Mm-hmm. The Asari kid from Highland, the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Baycott, who I will tell you right now, people, Matt doesn't have him on his list. I like Asari.
Are you trying to get me to have eggs thrown at me right away? But go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I like Asari better because based on the East Coast Live, Asari did more for his team than Baycott. Baycott is a tremendous talent. He's on my list. Now, he's a rising soft. Asari's a rising senior. But Baycott, and watching him, and I'm going to be critical, he just goes through the motion sometimes. Tremendous talent, potential. But as you move up the ladder, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, you can't rely on your potential. You got to start showing what you can do. And a lot of times Baycott just kind of goes through the motions to me. Now, somebody said, I bet you'd love to have him on your team. In a heartbeat, yes. But he needs to do a little bit more. And of course, I'm not his coach. Ty White is his coach. Ty's had the great ones, has done, 9 state titles or whatever. So he'll get them right. But comparing the two, now I know one's a senior, one's sophomore.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the comp is coming in here. You just kind of went on a tangent. But you're not wrong what you're saying. What you're saying is not entirely wrong. And I would say that maybe the expectations were set too high unrealistically from the start. Because I'm one that's been thinking a lot of what you're actually saying out loud. So yeah, I think that's part of it. When you're dubbed the number one player in the country in your 8th grade, 9th grade class. And he's obviously not that now at the moment as a sophomore, but we'll see if he plays a chip on his shoulder and harnesses some of those expectations, eyeballs, and some of the critiques of his game, because I think he is a talented player. And he would be among the top 25 recruitable prospects for me, but my top 25 is based on what my eyes told me as far as performance and what I liked. And by the way, I had some tough snubs. Just missing my top 25 list would be him among the big guy, Hudson Hatch of Blue Ridge, Christian Lynch of Kimsel, who I thought played great the last day. But Hunter's my MVP. I got Pop Anderson right below him, and he's ironically enough next to alphabetically. I got Asare. Our list is almost the same. We've got 5 or 6 different differences. You got Baycott. I got Jordan Garland from Heritage Leesburg. You got you got Frazier from George Marshall. I've got Trey Leonardo from George Marshall, the Ford. I got Dean Williams of Catholic. You didn't get to see play a whole lot. I like what he did from Catholic. I got MJ Montague of Woodside. You got Newsom of Oscar Smith. I got Trent Smalling of Woodside. You got Deuce Jarrett of Woodside. You're kind of, you can pick which one you want there. And I got Rashawn Miller of Huguenot as another guy there. I didn't put the North Carolina guy on the list. I could have. He'd be one of the top 25 players, but I just cut my list to Virginia exclusively there for my top 25. As you see, the Williams is there to close it out. Dean and Shamir, no relation. Woodside's got a good team. Private school, I love what I saw from Gregory and Trinity. And I think Heritage Leesburg in Class 4, look out for them. They were missing their point guard, Dylan Williams, but Garland took over a couple of key games for them. So that's our top 25 list from last week's East Coast Live basketball event. A lot of talented players. Again, if you didn't make our top 25, doesn't mean you can't play. Doesn't mean you're not top 25 player. But those were narrowing it down to that list. I think all 25 of those guys on Ed's or my list are going to play college basketball somewhere, D1, D2, D3. And many of them, if not all of them, will be guys that can make impacts sooner than later once they get on the floor beyond this season for their teams, some of which are underclassmen. So that's a neat thing to watch how they track in the years to come. So there you have it.
The preface of what Matt's saying, we try to keep it all to Virginia, but there were teams from other states, a great handful of them. And the one who at times I thought was the best team was the Osborne Academy out of, I think, Cleveland, Ohio, loaded, 6'7", 6'8", loaded with those type of players. But they're not a Virginia team. But they have kids that will go big time, definitely big time. So it's a great event. It's 140 teams. We're trying to see as much as we can. But I mean, I had a job to do too, which was, I don't want to rant, but people, when a sign says college coaches only on these seats, and you're not a college coach, why would you put your fat rear end on that seat? Number one.
Whoa. Why do they got to be fat rear end? Why do they got a skinny rear end? Why you making fun of people with fat rear ends?
A couple people I asked move almost took up 2 chairs.
Man.
Second, when you see a barrier, a table with those
barricades,
do not enter, says do not enter, with the guardrail up, why would you push them out of the way to cut across to the other side of the court when you could go to the other baseline where there's nothing and go right across the court? People's stupidity amazes me. I know, and I'm going to do a new segment on here. I'm trying to find a sponsor. I'm trying to get a seed company, grass company, old man get off my lawn segment, because people are saying, you always tell me too, man, you definitely old. I'm just tired of people's ignorance. That's really what it comes down to, is ignorance. And where we got to stay off my lawn was, little kids going to somebody's nicely cut lawn and whatever, and they throwing paper and whatever. But I saw a person move the barrier, slide the table out of the way, went to put their leg up over the bleacher was in there, and almost fell to her face. And if she would have, I would have had to say, ma'am, if you could read, you wouldn't have been hurt.
They had to get an up-close look at Petersburg. They had to get an up-close look at Matt Hatfield. They had to get an up-close look at whatever they were trying to say. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, sometimes that happens that way. Maybe we can go back to the 5-minute burning topic segment.
Somebody did say to me, hey, where's the fool hat? I said, fool in the pool is right over there with the camera. You can go, you can see him.
Coming up next, it's $5 or a soda. You're saying, what the heck is that? $5 or a soda. Well, you've seen him before on the show. It's one of our favorites, the Maury Superfan. Maury superfan Daryl Holly. He always loves to badger Ed Young and whoever else in his vicinity about giving him $5 in a soda. And Ed has given him $5 in a soda before to root for Nansman River. Not Smithfield yet. I emphasize yet. But that could be coming. So our game will consist of this when we come back. Would you be willing to take $5 on a couple of sports futures, or would you rather just put it towards a soda, be it for yourself, Daryl Holly, or any friend you have? That's how we'll do this coming up here on Cova Sports TV and 757 Sports Talk. So we'll see what Coach has to say about that. You're going to see what I'm going to pick when we come back, because I'm sure I'm going to have Ed shaking his head. But that's on the way in just a bit after we hear from JES and a couple of those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you'll ever see.
And as you can see, me and you are both having trouble starting to talk.
Yep.
I mean, this is something that you're breathing in every day.
Yeah.
Like 50% of the air in the house
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is coming from down here.
Yes, sir.
How's your crawl space looking? You say we're going to be here a while.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get busy.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a groundworks company.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
What did the lightning say to the fireworks? You stole my thunder.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk, brought to you by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Let me say morning to Woody and all those out there. That's right, Woody. Pool Man has arrived, much to Ed's chagrin. All kinds of great pool features today. We got Carl Francis coming up on the program at the top of the hour. He is the Director of Communications for the National Football League Players Association and a Hampton native, Bethel High grad. But before we get to all that with Carl, we mentioned earlier in the show, Parlay Palooza, Ed's $5 parlay that we did a couple weeks ago. We're going to do it last week for mine. You see how much that wins with the Bills and Rams, the Rays, the Braves, Texas, and college football. Wins a lot of money there, folks. Mine, it's almost identical because he copied me. I got Bills and Rams like he. I got Mariners and Brewers to win their leagues in baseball, though I'd probably change it to the Dodgers now. And I have Oregon winning the college football. So now we play $5 or a soda. And here's how the game goes. As we mentioned before break, I give Ed an option of $5 on this future prediction for sports or a soda. And he makes his choice. So we'll do that as we fire up a little bit of music for this. All right, Ed, $5 or a soda. Our first one has to do with college football. Miami to win the ACC, which they did last year. Oh, no, they didn't do that last year. Did they do it last year in the ACC? I don't think they did. It was Duke and Virginia.
Duke.
Yeah. Duke and Virginia, and Duke won. Yeah. But they got to the national championship game nonetheless. Miami, Texas Tech, Ohio State. And Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten, but those are the favorites right now at plus 926. Your $5 can be turned into $46. Would you take that $5 on that play, or would you say, give me the soda instead?
$5. I like it.
You like it? I think it will happen. I think Miami's going to have a little bit of motivation, even though they didn't win the ACC last year, got in the championship game. They want to win the ACC. Gives them a better path, of course, in the college football playoff in terms of seeding who they have to play. Texas Tech, they don't have Sorsby, but I think they're still the best team in the Big 12. And Ohio State, again, chip on their shoulder from losing to Indiana. They're going to be right there to do it. And I actually have Oregon win the championship despite not winning the Big Ten. So let's see, how is that going to happen? I think that will happen, believe it or not. I think they might lose to them the first go around and get them in a rematch, beating the semis of the championship game for the national championship. So there you have it. I'm gonna use it as well. Number 2, it was my pick. You saw it, Mariners and Brewers to reach the World Series, plus 28-12. It's $140 if it happens. Ooh, that's a nice evening on the town with the lady there. Or you can go with the soda. What are you going with?
Give me a soda on this one.
Oh, you're going soda. You don't think they're both getting there, huh?
Both have great chances. I'm a little higher right now on Milwaukee than I am Seattle. I think Seattle's lack of hitting at crucial time is going to hurt them. We do know they have some of the best pitching in Major League Baseball. Milwaukee just amazes me. They just find ways to get it done. But the evil empire of the LA Dodgers looms big in the National League.
Yeah.
And I keep looking at them. So I'm going to take the soda on this one.
Well, look, the Dodgers came from 3-0 down on Friday night, 6-0 down against the Padres. They are a machine. It's hard to go against them. But your odds aren't great if you're taking the Dodgers. They're the favorite. I think they're minus 150. Why not throw a couple shekels and take it? Plus, you got to also consider pitching wins in the playoffs, and they both have pitching. The Miz from Milwaukee, I know, just got hit the other day. Seattle the other night had basically a no-hitter through 7. Got a great performance from Bryce Miller. I think they both have pitching, and that wins in the postseason. Our next 2 and our last 2, actually we got 3, next 3. Number 3, Myles Garrett to record 20-plus sacks, and the Rams win the Super Bowl at plus 1,300 and win $65. Or are you going with the soda? I'm going to go with this. I think Garrett's going to have a great chance to get 20 sacks. He obviously was right there last year. They need pass rush, and the Rams are a favorite. So if you're combining this, your odds with the Rams winning the Super Bowl is not great, but Garrett's going to have a great year if he stays healthy. I'm going to turn my $5 into 65, and I'll say, yeah, I'll take my chances. I'm buying it.
I agree with you too. I think he's going to be rejuvenated going to the Rams, but I also think he's going to see more double teaming, extra running back out of the backfield to come after him if he gets through to the front line. But I'm going to stick with it. I think he's going to be rejuvenated, and he gets with. I'll take the $5.
You'll take it. All right. Our last 2. Back to baseball. Tampa Bay's Junior Caminero. You've been keeping up with him lately. He has been on a hot streak, if ever. To lead the majors in home runs. Now, right now, if you look at the home run leaders, you have some tough guys that he's got to contend with. You got Kyle Schwarber, you got Yordan Alvarez, you got Hunter Goodman and Byron Buxton. Currently, Caminero is tied for 4th with Buxton, 25 apiece. Schwarber's got 30, Alvarez has got 27, as does Goodman with the Rockies, who plays in Coors. But I'm going to buy this. Caminero's, he can hit 6, 7, 8 games in a row. I think he's going to stay on the hot pace, and why not? At plus 550, I'll turn my $5 into $27. I like it. I'm buying it.
You're not buying. You're doing the $5. That's buy and sell, something different.
I know, but I'm buying it.
Your own game. I'm going, give me a soda because Schwarber with his Schwarber bombs. I still like him, and Alvarez will be right there. Missing is the greatest hitter of all, Aaron Judge, but that's a whole nother.
He's hurt. He's not getting there. He's not the greatest hitter of all. He's hurt.
That's what I'm saying. If he wasn't hurt,
you can't win nothing if you're hurt. Come on. And our last one. By the way, have you noticed I haven't bought a soda yet? You know why I don't drink sodas anymore? I kicked the sodas. So our last one with the World Cup to win not the world, it should say cup there. We'll get that fixed for you right now. $5 on the USA to win the World Cup at plus 3,000 wins $150. That's not too bad. I think Ed's going to take the soda because he says, sorry, USA, your furthest you're going is the quarterfinals. Keep dreaming.
No question. Give me the soda. There's no way if they come up against England, France, Spain even, that they're going to win. I hope they do, but no. Give me the soda.
So wait, what's the bracket right now? Let's see if I can pull this bracket up. I think the bracket's right here because they're in the round of 16, getting ready to play Belgium. I can share the screen and do the bracket. But I'm going to tell you why the USA, we can dream, folks. We can dream, and this is going to happen. We're going to talk it into existence. All right, you beat Belgium. Get through that without Balogun. You'll get Balogun back to take on Portugal or Spain. You can make this happen, right? Above you got Canada, Morocco, Paraguay, France. You just need good old Paraguay to take out France or Canada to go take out France, and you're in good shape. And I think that's where it's going to end for you probably when you got to deal with France. But if you get on this side of the bracket to the final, hey, you roll the dice, you flip the coin, you got a shot at this thing, right? I'm being optimistic here. I'm not making a good argument, am I? I don't drink sodas anymore. What can I say? It's not going to happen, is it?
Nothing wrong. You go with it. You've been wrong before, so it ain't nothing. That's nothing different.
You got to dream, America. You got to dream, America. Otherwise, if you don't have anything to dream about, what's it going to do? So to recap real quickly, you took was that 3 sodas and 2 that you're taking your $5 with.
Say that again.
You took this one. You decided to take Miami, ACC,
yes.
Texas Tech. All right. You bought the soda on Brewers Mariners, right?
Took the soda.
Okay. You take the soda on that one, or was that a $5 to take?
No,
that?
I went $5.
All right, and then you took the soda on obviously the soccer, and then the baseball. You took the soda as well. So you did take 3 sodas, and you took 2, Garrett, and then the college football. You liked the 2, the pro and college football were the only ones you liked. That was it.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Take a timeout. We got more on the way here. It is 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching where, Ed?
Here on Kova Sports TV. I know everybody will like us. I hope. They should definitely share us, which would be good, and subscribe would be the best.
That's right. We got Fact or Fiction. We got all kinds of great things, but stick around. Carl Francis, top of the hour. You're watching Kova Sports TV.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Why did the firecracker go to the hair salon? Because it needed to trim its bangs.
And we're back here on Kova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. With the coach, Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield. You don't go to the hair salon?
No comment, because I'm not going to give credence to something that's not going to help us.
Well, some people feel a little helpless, and those people are alums of Virginia Wesleyan University, which is no more, Ed. It is now Baton University, and I'm not going to take credit for this picture, but somebody actually did this picture, AI. This is not a real picture, by the way. Somebody did this. That's Jane Batten, who now Virginia Wesleyan is named after. It's Baton University. But it does not exist anymore as Virginia Wesleyan University. July 1st marked the first day that the school went through a transition in terms of name. Now, there were some interesting comments. I'm going to read from you the story in the Virginia Pilot, not the story that Jamie Frankenberry did, but a couple of quotes from the story, and also quotes from a good friend of ours, the longtime athletic director there at Virginia Wesleyan, that being Joanne Wren. First, I want to give you a couple of quotes from Brandon Adair and Bob Valvano. You know Bob Valvano quite well, Jim Valvano's brother, the late Jim Valvano's brother, and of course, longtime broadcaster, does college basketball games all over the country. But to give you a couple of the quotes, first from Valvano, and by the way, Adair was part of the national championship team at Virginia Wesleyan in 2006. Valvano, who's in the Hall of Fame at Wesleyan, played basketball, soccer, golf there, said, quote, "Those memories are treasured. I'm amazed that they don't understand. It changes everything. There was no reason to do that," end quote. As for Adair, he has to be removed from the school's alumni council and all alumni communications. Quote, 30 years from now, when you tell people you went to Virginia Wesleyan, they're going to say, "I've never heard of it." That's the thing that hurts the most. The history is being erased at the end of the day. Now, the headline of the story read, "Does Virginia Wesleyan's name change to Baton University erase its storied athletic legacy?" And this actually was something that bothered one, Joanne Wren, who gave some of these points when she said she was offended by the story. One, the claim is offensive and factually wrong. The university's name change does not erase, diminish, or challenge decades of athletic achievement. Our championships are permanently recorded by the NCAA, the ODAC, and National Archives. Those records are not up for reinterpretation. Two, our legacy was built by people, not by branding, and that's a distinction that matters. It took years and decades. Coaches built this legacy through relentless work, showing up before sunrise, so on and so forth, she says. The athletic staff built this legacy through consistency and commitment. Athletic trainers, sports information directors, athletic administrators, compliance directors, so on and so forth. Administrators built this legacy with infrastructure excellence by creating a culture of accountability and expectation. But most importantly, thousands of athletes built this legacy by playing through pain, balancing academic excellence in competition, and representing their institution with pride. Their legacy will never be challenged by a name change because it's cemented permanently by performance. To suggest that a name change somehow overshadows their work is dismissive and frankly insulting. Three, the achievements themselves are indisputable. She went through the years that she was the executive director of intercollegiate sports, this institution, their accomplishments. Then she said, four, the institution changed its name. The history did not. And five, the legacy is intact fully and unequivocally. Baton University carries forward the entire athletic history of Virginia Wesleyan University. The name changed. The legacy built by decades of hard work by people did not. I've had some people that agree wholeheartedly with her. They disagree. They agree with Adair and agree with Valvano. What's your feeling on this whole situation? Because Virginia Wesleyan, in terms of name, is no more. But what do you think? Where do you stand on this? Are you kind of in between on it? Are you one side, the other side? What's your feel? This is a really touchy topic, by the way, for a lot of people, because a lot of people are deeply invested in it with personal feelings.
And that's what makes it tough to comment on, because I don't want to hurt feelings on either side. Mm-hmm. Bottom line for me, I understand it. To me, it's about money. Happens a lot, but when it hit home, you react different to it. Virginia Wesleyan will always be Virginia Wesleyan to me. It's going to be a while before I call it Baton University. No disrespect to the Baton family at all. And I understand the Virginia Wesleyan diehards, how deep they feel about it.
Let me ask you real quick there. Let me stop you right there. Do you feel more people feel the way that Adair and Valvano feel, or do you feel more people feel the way that Joanne Wren feels? Because I'm sure there are people that feel on both of those sides of what's being conveyed. What side are you? And I'm not trying to pit them against each other, by the way. I think there's a lot of emotions that are into this. But who do you think's kind of feeling? Do you think more people are feeling the way that they want the old name back? Because to me, when I first heard it, I thought it was silly. I was like a lot of people, sort of like Adair and Valvano. I thought, but the more I got to think about it, I said, look, that name of Redskins isn't coming back. That name of Cleveland Guardians isn't coming back. They're the Commanders and Guardians. That's here to stay, whether you like it or not. And people still root and watch those teams and go to the games, and they're still going to go watch the Marlins play. They may not refer to them as Batten or Wesley, and they might just call them Marlins. So I don't know that this is going to stop people from, they're going to boycott and protest, but after 24, 40 hours, that goes away.
And that's what's eventually going to happen. Now, the diehard Wesleyan alumni, it will be a lot harder for them, and it will be a sting and a sore spot forever. And I understand that again, 100%. Understand it. It's too bad somehow they couldn't combine the name, even though it might be a little longer. Batten University at Virginia Wesleyan, I don't know. But I will continue to call it Wesleyan for a while. But I understand why in terms of money. And I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to stick to that opinion that it's more has to do with money in that situation. But and I kind of side with the Wesleyan people and the regular person. Okay, example, us. We're not Wesleyan grads. We are Wesleyan supporters. We both like a lot of their sports, especially basketball. A lot of friends over there that are Wesleyan people, grads that we consider friends. So we probably tend to lean towards that way. The other people, Joe Blow on the street, Jane Doe on the street might say, what's the big deal? It's just a name. And if they're giving money, wow, they should be able to take that. But they're not close to the situation. And that's why they would more than likely say, anybody close to the situation, I believe, would lean towards the Wesleyan faithful.
I get why the Adairs and Valvanos of the world feel the way they do. They have every right to feel that way because they were not consulted. They were not involved with this decision. Ultimately, though, at the end of the day, there are a lot of decisions and things that are done because, like you said, money. And their input almost is irrelevant. And it shouldn't be that way, but that's just the tough crux of the situation that it is that way. And I think the one point that was made well by Joanne Wren and also in the story by softball coach Brennan Elliott is, and I love his ice cream every day thing he does, by the way, I think I mentioned that before on the show, but the program was built on people, regardless of a name. It's been built on the names of the Mark Butzes, the Valvanos, the Adairs of the world, the Dave Macedo's, the Brendan Elliott's of the world, the Joanne Wren's of the world. Those people are the ones that have helped make it what it is, whether it's Wesleyan or Batten. I think it's still going to carry on. It's just going to take a lot of getting used to. Some are not going to embrace the getting used to part. They've obviously put their foot down and said, I'm not going to. But as you well know, sometimes people say things and over time they come around and they change their feeling on it. And again, I'm not saying you have to like this change. I'm not telling anybody they have to like this change whatsoever. But I think over time to not go to games based on that feels like, that can be something that just lasts a little while. And eventually you say, is that really worth it? Is it changing anything by putting up a protest? What's changing? Because the name's not coming back. That ship has sailed. It's gone.
Yeah. And you're right. You made a good example when you said about Redskins going to Commanders.
Commanders, not Commodores.
Not
That's
Commodores.
Maury. That's Maury, number one, as Daryl says.
And the Guardians, which is for Cleveland, which is still I can't get that one at all.
And by the way, more name changes are coming. We see it in high school all the time where these schools are no longer called Robert E. Lee at Stanton High School. You were asking me the other day, where were we? It was help me. It was one of the schools you said, well, who was so-and-so? I said, they used to be
remember
Jeb
I said, who was Justice?
John R. Lewis, Justice. It used to be Jeb Stewart, and John R. Lewis used to be Robert E. Lee of Springfield. Like, these name changes, some people don't even know who they are. And that's going to be the tricky part for the Macedos and Elliots of the world now is to get people out there to know what is Batten University. It's almost like they have to rebrand it. So to me, that's the whole part of this story that's getting lost in the shuffle. You know this as a coach is the recruiting piece. Now you have to get people to realize what the heck is Batten University? Well, it used to be Virginia Wesleyan. Because now that's going to take a minute or two in the recruiting process. Now, how big of a hurdle that is, I ultimately don't know. But that's the part of the story that's not getting told enough or talked about, honestly, is the recruiting piece. Now you have to almost resell your brand.
And that is a big thing that the average person won't understand.
Right.
You go in and say, hey, hi, I'm from Batten University. Hey, I'm from Virginia Wesleyan. Oh, Wesleyan, yeah.
That's the part of the story that wasn't talked about at all.
Yeah, that's that's what the Wesleyan side is putting their hat on about is, hey, we got to go out here now and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, represent Baton University. What is that? Well, formerly Virginia Wesleyan, we had a name change. You got to kind of explain what happened. And for some time in recruiting, it could make a recruit say, oh, well, I remember you as Virginia Wesleyan. See, again, you've got to explain it. And then in the game of recruiting, any little thing could go sideways real quick. And that's how I look at it. That's really what I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to see you as well, Dan, at that East Coast
Yeah.
Live. And, did he make
Gentlemen,
first team all hospitality with us, Dan? I don't know if he made first team all
I'm
hospitality.
giving Dan a new nickname, Gentleman Dan.
Gentleman Dan.
Gentleman Dan. He hasn't put it on there, gentlemen. Good to see you, but he's the
Not
Gentleman
Dynamite Dan or Dynamic Dan or
No, he's not dynamic. He's not
or
dynamite.
Dandy Dan. Dandy
No,
Dan. It used to be
Gentleman
Dandy Don.
Dan.
That was Dandy
who-
Don Meredith.
who does a great job. One of the very few JUCO coaches who were in there battling the big boys for some of those star players. So good job on Dan's part to be out there and pushing people around. I see him throw a couple people over the top rope. He'd make a great wrestling manager for players to get a good seat to watch some players that he wants. So he can be rough if need be, but he's usually Gentleman Dan.
Yeah, you did not make first team hall hospitality like I did because you happen to, folks. This is what Ed does. He complains about free food, but it's not the kind of, well, we had barbecue yesterday. We should have something else today. Like you are.
I'm not eating barbecue 4 days in a row.
I mean, you used to say it wasn't 4 days in a row. You weren't there 4 days, so I don't. If
3
you
days,
had barbecue
whatever it
before you
was.
got there, it's your fault.
Well, hold on. Excuse me. I'm not eating barbecue for meals. Okay, that's what it seemed like. Every meal was
Well,
barbecue.
don't you have breakfast and dinner in between, and lunches in between?
Right,
That's
it
your
was
fault.
barbecue. It was barbecue breakfast too. It was all that barbecue. I'm not
You
into
didn't have
barbecue.
barbecue for breakfast. Had
Eat
breakfast at
barbecue,
the
yes.
hotel if you weren't sleeping. I got my walk-in and treadmill. I got my exercise. Then got some juice, some good OJ.
Right.
Got my breakfast.
The only time he's been on a treadmill in 3 weeks. Hasn't been on it since we left over the last weekend.
That's not true. I've been in the pool a lot, but that's not
That's
true.
not treadmill work on in the pool.
That's right. Coach Johnson is at bat now. Former Grassfield Grizzly Eric Johnson. That's right.
That's right.
He's got-
So he'll come under the new name. Well, he came in right before it became Batten, but he now will be known as
still at Baton Marlin.
Coach
Yeah.
E at Batten.
That's right. Batting around. Just like the teams that play the Yankees in the playoffs. They're batting around. Get it?
Well, the Yankees are hard to watch once again. Second time this season I've said it. 7 in a row, hitting 193. And since the 7 in a row, they are last in every major league category, I think, except one. Hitting category, except one. Wow. When we're bad, we're bad.
Want to tell everybody there a happy 4th of July. Hope they're enjoying it. We got 1 hour in the books, another hour coming up here on the program. And joining us in just a few minutes will be the one and only Carl Francis. He is the Director of Communications for the National Football League Players Association. And coming up with the NFL PA, he has a lot of things on his plate, I'm sure. But he's also the co-founder of the Hampton Roads Youth Foundation with Vernon Lee. And they have a lot of things going on, as you see, the 30th annual, I was about to say 11th annual, 30th annual All-Star Football Camp at CNU coming up a week from today. They have their 30 for 30 reception and awards at the Virginia Air and Space Science Center in Hampton. And then they have the Family and Friends Bowling Party next Saturday night, 9 to 1 at Spare Times Bowling Alley in Hampton. We should go over there and bowl. I haven't seen you bowl since you almost had a perfect game down in Myrtle Beach, the Beach Ball Classic back in 2007. That was 19 years ago. Have you bowled any better games since then?
No. I haven't bowled in a while. Matter of fact, I think the last time I bowled when I took Nansen River team to Raleigh for a tournament 3 years ago. A couple of my youngsters challenged me about, Coach, you know what a bowling ball is and a pin? I said, let me see here. And I took all their money.
You are good at bowling. I like to knock you about other things, but I would not challenge you in a bowling match because I would lose.
Bowling and shooting a little pool, not your kind of pool. Pool in the pool. I'm
Oh,
talking
I could beat you. I think I could beat you in pool. I haven't played in a while. I've been too busy in the other pool, but I think I could beat you in pool. Billiards, as we call it. Billiards.
As they say, put your money on the end of the table.
Oh, that's how confident you are. Okay.
You don't brag unless you know unless you can do it.
Wow. High roller, ladies and gents. We got Carl Francis coming up. It is 757 Sports Talk. And they're watching where, Edward?
Cova Sports TV. Make sure you like it, share it, and subscribe to us.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7 right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you'll ever see.
And as you can see, me and you are both having trouble starting to talk.
Yep.
I mean, this is something that you're breathing in every day.
Yeah. Like 50% of the air in the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is coming from down here.
Yes, sir.
How's your crawl space looking? You say we're going to be here a while.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get busy.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a groundwork.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach, Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe with Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. We have a special guest with us. Ed, he is the longtime director of the National Football League Players Association and Player Affairs. He's also the co-founder of the Hampton Roads Youth Foundation, which is coming up again next weekend. 30 years of community impact. What a job he and Vernon Lee and the crew have done over there with the HRYF. They've got the reception awards, the All-Star Football Camp, and then the Family and Friends Bowling Party. We say hello to our pal, Carl Francis. Carl, good to see you. Happy 4th of July. How's life treating you?
Good morning. Hey, thank you guys for having me on this great 4th of July weekend. I know it's a little steamy, but we're going to enjoy it and take it in for what it's worth, man. But it's glad to be here with both of you. Really is. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it is.
Carl, great to see you too, Carl. You're looking good as always.
Man, I'm trying, Ed. Trust me, I'm trying, man. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, Ed's giving me a hard time with all my pool shenanigans, but I got to cool off some way with this 118 I see on the heatedness. I'm like, that can't be real. My phone's melting in the heat for about 45 minutes. But, hey, if they want to cool off and have a great time, you guys have a ton of great things going on with the HRYF. For those that are unfamiliar with it, hear this HRYF, kind of give us the origin, the genesis behind it with you and Vernon, what you created and what it's become over the years.
Well, 30-something years ago, I first got the job with the PA. One of the things I thought about to myself was, I've never been to a football camp. And we've had some great athletes come through, but I've just never had a chance to meet them and experience anything that can motivate me. So I said, when I got the job, that's one of my dreams was to create a free football camp for kids in my area, for my hometown, because it was a hotbed. This was even before maybe around the Ronald Carey and Allen Iverson era. This was even before that. And so I thought about, building this out, but also who could I connect with and bring in to try to help me execute it. And I thought of Vernon. He and I have been friends since high school, and he played for Hampton. I played for Bethel. We were rivals, but we'd always been friends, and a couple other guys. And Vernon has stayed the course. And over the 30 years, man, it's amazing how many players from this area we've touched. And I don't think the audience really knows the heritage and the history and the culture of players that are from the area. Obviously, players like Michael Vick, Allen Iverson, and Ronald Carey, Bruce Smith has really carried the load. However, there have been so many of players. I mean, people don't even really have a conversation about Kenny Easley, the late, great Kenny Easley, or Dwight Stevenson, or Chris Hamburger. And I mean, the list goes on and on of just great players. So this means so much to me, for me to be able to stay around and impact kids for this long. 30 years is an amazing task. Sometimes I ask myself, how did I get here? But, year to year, you want to kind of say, oh, this is my last year. But then again, you get parents and families and coaches, hey, you're coming around next year? And I'm like, oh, okay. But we're getting a lot of help. So we're looking forward to celebrating our 30th year, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's funny, Ed, I remember going out there several years back for Cox TV and Hot Ticket. In fact, this podcast show airs on Cox TV and Your View 3 days a week in various markets all over the Commonwealth. But you guys had the Mike Tomlin tailgate with Tomlin that night. And it was not just yourself, but Mike Tomlin's there. People lined up to see him get autographs, but had just a great time. You got Aaron Brooks there. You got Tony Brothers there, NBA referee. You got EJ Mandel. The list of people, it was just like a who's that walked through the hallway, and the fans love it. It's like an old kind of community gathering, and this is the type of time of year, with it being 4th of July and Independence Week, and people like to have those get-togethers, and it's a chance to kind of have to get together with some stars and some neat faces to look up to.
Right. And for me, it's not about look, I know a lot of players, and I could easily get a guy to fly in from Texas or fly in from Atlanta or California. But look, you and I and Ed know we take pride in the players that come through our area that are greats, right? That have made major impacts in the NFL and the higher level and in college. The Lawrence Taylors of the world, the Ron Springs, the Percy Harvins, the Aaron Brooks, the EJs. The list goes on and on. D'Angelo Halls, Dre Bly's. And it's like, there's so many that you look back and you somewhat take it for granted that we have so many great athletes. And, we have the new crop of kids, Dalen Everett that's from Norfolk, the Katron Allen from Norfolk, it's the Washington Commanders. And then you have the young kid, Kalon Black from, I think he's from Virginia Beach, made the big plays for Indiana this year, and he's going to San Francisco. So it's like a new crop coming in, right? Karan Prunty, right? From that side of the water, from the south side, that's going to New England. And so they're now carrying the load. Lambert from Maury has played well for San Diego. And I'm going to get myself in trouble because there's just so many outstanding players that have come through that make us proud on Sunday afternoons and Saturday afternoons as well.
It's so funny, before I turn back over to Ed here, Carl, is that we had Keandre Lambert on the show last year after he got drafted by the Chargers, and he was telling the story about when his uncle, Cam Chancellor, they were going to the movies, and he was a minute late, and he left him. But it stuck with him, that being punctual part, just little stories that these kids remember, and that's something that you're going to have at this, certainly at this HRYF camp. A lot of these kids will remember meeting some of those guys, and the stories, but also the skills and the training, the things that they are learning from these events.
Well, I think now, one of the things I do now in my new role at the PA is I work with the transition of college kids coming in through the NIL, rev share deals, and just helping them navigate their way through. And one of the things that, and I've been on conference calls with a number of Power 4 coaches, just talking about things that we can do to support. And one of the things they said, look, you can help us with accountability. The kids are struggling with accountability because the NIL and the social media and all these elements of rev share deals transferring is making them feel like they're entitled. And so if you could talk about the transition into the National Football League, that entitlement costs a lot of money, right? And it costs a lot of time sitting on the sidelines suspended if you don't do the right things, like making it to the meeting on time, being on time for practice, all the little things, wearing the right apparel to practice. And so that is so important. To your point, Matthew, we just try to instill those little nuggets to these kids early on. And then you have great success stories like Tyrod Taylor. You think about a guy like Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor came out as a 6th round draft choice. This young man is going into his 16th year in the National Football League.
Crazy.
Do you know how amazing that is? He's outlived 2 of his draft classes beyond him. He's the only one still playing, and he's right here. Not too many quarterbacks from say that. He's from Hampton, Virginia. And so and that comes with just being disciplined, just being punctual, and just learning how to be a professional along the way. So that's what we try to instill.
Yeah, hasn't been caught up having to be the starter, although he's been a starter at times and very effective. So we talked with Carl Francis, Director of Players Association for the National Football League, part of the Hampton Roads Youth Foundation, coming up next weekend in Hampton, his hometown, here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV, Ed.
Carl, you just did a portion of it, but my question I was going to ask you right off the bat is, tell the listeners exactly what your role is. Some people will look at that and say, oh, you work for the NFL. Oh, are you ahead of the officials? Oh, are you? Tell us exactly what your role is and what you do. And as I said, I know you just mentioned a little bit, but expound.
No, thank you, Ed, for allowing me to do that, because that is key and pivotal. So for 29 years, I was the Director of Communications, where I oversaw all public relations. I saw the messaging and just in charge of the overall communication strategy for the NFLPA. But shortly thereafter, when we changed executive directors, he saw more of a need for me to be in the player relations space because of my relationship and my impact with young people throughout the league. So he said, look, what we're lacking is a bridge builder between the college athletes and their first year in the league, right? And that transition and understanding what it takes to be a pro, what it takes to sustain being a pro, and what it means to be a part of a union. And so he wanted me to utilize my institutional knowledge, my relationships, to build out a plan to create this transition initiative into the National Football League, not only for the players, but for their ecosystem, right? And so what you mean by ecosystem, my job is to connect with parents, right? My job now is to connect with trainers, anybody that is a part of a player's ecosystem, and help them with resources and programs that help them transition into the league and put them on track. One of the kids that young man, not a kid, but he and I have gotten really close because I'd spoken to him a year before he came out, was Caleb Williams from Washington, D.C. like him, Caleb, myself, and his dad. We met a year before he played, and just talking about the business of football, how it operates, how he can benefit, things that he can take advantage of throughout the course of his career. And now, obviously, he's on the cover of Madden, right? Now, I definitely don't take credit for that. But what I do say is he is well equipped mentally to understand the professional leverage that he has as a player being part of a union and how he can make impact with that. And so that's one of the things that I do along with a few others. But Ed, thanks for allowing me to do that because it has been a transition. So my official title is Director of Player Affairs and Strategic Relations, right? And so that's the underscore of all of what I just mentioned.
Well, and Carl, what's neat about that is you reference college coaches saying to you, help with accountability. A longtime veteran high school coach that I am, I see where kids, where they get good enough to be at your level or NBA level or Major League Baseball, they get a lot of the word you mentioned, entitlement. Hey, I'm good. And sometimes their hangers-on of their ecosystem allows them to be entitled, this part of entitlement. And I've always said to young coaches, you need to be hardest on your best, most talented players because they're going to have the opportunity to go up. Doesn't mean you don't work with the other kids. You do. But stop handing everything to the studs, which a lot of coaches do because they're afraid the kid will, in this day and age, transfer in a heartbeat. And I think the veteran coaches that have not allowed that to come into their play, and I'm one of them, I've never had that talent of a player, but I've been hard on my best players for sure because we feel like, oh, we can't do nothing. And then we end up doing an injustice to them because it doesn't always go that way in the college level. Sometimes the college coaches now will do the same thing. And now here they go to the pro level. They have to face you. And you're sitting there thinking, this kid has no idea what he's about to walk into. Doesn't know how to handle money. Of course, now they're learning in college to handle $5-6 million a year. So that helps a little bit getting ready for the NFL. But I think it plays such a great role that we don't look at. You know, Matt and I just watched East Coast Live basketball, 140 teams last week. Tremendous talented players. A few who definitely going to be in the NBA. No question. But we all go gaga over their athletic ability. And I always wondered, does this kid have a solid foundation, which starts at home? Number one, it's got to start at home. And number two, the immediate family has got to make sure that uncle that played or that uncle that thought he was good has to get on there. And then again, each step of the way, you hope the coaches that they come in contact with will be able to keep those kids, because I think that's why kids fail, not because of athletic ability, is because of that entitlement. Because you, at your level, I bet you have seen guys succeed in the NFL whose talent level is not as good as you've seen others, but because of their, and I'll use your words, ecosystem situation has been aligned the right way. And now they're able to flourish, whereas the talented kid still didn't get it. And now he's at home talking about what could have been or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's Ed, you summed it up great. I think one of the things that we struggle with is understanding the true impact and what makes a kid successful. I mean, listen, you know, when you have an 18-year-old kid, and it's tougher now because of the social media impact, the mental wellness impact of what social media does to kids, when one kid is looking at another kid getting an offer and what he may be getting in his NIL deal or his rep share deal than myself. And what we found out, the people who are worse than the young men are the parents, because the parents are new to this, right? I don't blame the parents, but this is a new experience for the parents too. So the kid gets it because he's playing on the field. He has to earn the right to this opportunity, right? But it's the families who need to understand the processes that are in place to protect the players. Because to your point, you mentioned the financial education. I mean, it takes time to learn how to manage $1 million deal as a 19-year-old kid, right? And guess who's worse? The parents. It's even worse for them to understand, right? That you can't just quit your job because your son just secured a $500,000 rev share deal, which that's happening out there. So, you know, the hardest thing at the collegiate level now is everybody's trying to get their arm around what makes sense to protect the players, but a lot of them are trying to protect the institution and the coaches. And so what we're trying to do is educate the players on identifying ways to protect themselves, using resources to make sure that they are making the right decisions as they pursue their career path, particularly with agents and financial advisors. And so even with former players now, Ed and Matt, I mean, just because you're a former player, let me tell you, there is a separation in your mental capacity from a player to a parent because it's more emotional, right? And so now you have to put on a parent hat where you're nervous because you don't want to make a bad decision because that's your son. It's not you now, right? And so now you have to really take a step back and say, let me look at this picture a little different because now I'm a parent. And so there have been a couple of parents of high-profile players that are on these teams that I talk to out here about the process, agents, and they don't say nothing because they get it. It's different, and their children need to hear what the process is for identifying what a good agent is, how to identify a good financial planner, how to identify the rules and regulations that apply to being a professional. Because whether you want to admit it or not, when you start getting a check, and Ed, you know this as a former coach, there is an expectation from you, whether you want to admit it or not, right? Because you now are working for this check. And so that's what they are experiencing now, particularly at the Power Fours. And there's an adjustment period. And I think we got to get parents and kids to stop looking at what the dollar figure is and start looking at the total package of what you're receiving in these NIL deals and these contracts that could potentially cause harm and or could potentially be a good deal for you. So that's what we try to live in that space to support.
That's some great insight there from Carl Francis with the National Football League Players Association, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. We could spend hours with you, but we know your time is precious and limited. And we'll talk about the Hampton Roads Youth Foundation and the big football camp coming up. All that's on tap here next week here in a bit on Cova Sports TV. But I got to ask you while we got you, and I'm sure Ed will follow up with you, and then we'll finish up with the camp here. There are a multitude of issues you've always dealt with the NFLPA. I think in years past we talked about concussions, these negotiations, this issue, that issue, and you've touched on some of it already, the social media impact, the NIL, and how much the education piece at a young age is such a big deal. And now I look at it in this world we're in too, Carl. There's so much every time you put on a TV. Everywhere you look, there's an ad for this player prop or this sports wagering situation. We see it with Sorsby. There was not in the NFL. He's a college kid. He's, how much now is the education piece, not only with the current players that are in your league in the NFL, but these young kids, because I start to see these, these different in other sports, basketball, baseball, these issues that arise. And I'm not sure some of these guys fully know what all they're doing it. And I think getting these kids to learn about it is going to be a big deal before they get to the pros, right?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult place for a lot of the players to understand because the brain of a college football player and the things that are going through his brain today versus 10 years ago are totally different. The backpack in which they wear every day today, they have different tools in them than they were even 5 years ago. And so helping them manage all of those tools in their backpack, in their brain, is what we try to do because it is very difficult. It is very hard. And the only thing that they wanted to do was just line up and play football and train. That's it. But it's not that simple anymore because of what society has told them it represents, from social media to coaches to, as Ed mentioned, trainers and whoever else, advisors, looking at other people getting offers, all of these different things. How do I manage all of this? And you have family members hearing about you receiving a $500,000 rev share deal. All of a sudden, you have, family members knocking on the door wanting to sit down and talk. And so now you're facing the same issues that a pro player is facing. And you're saying, I'm just a kid trying to play football. I haven't even reported to college yet. And so those type of issues are in addition to all the things you're talking about, right? The decisions that you make that could impact your career is something that is very difficult for them to process. But what we try to do is just continue to remind them at different touch points during the process, whether it's in high school, whether it's at camps, whether it's at 707s, whether it's at training sessions, whether it's in college, whether it's in spring ball, whether it's a parent day. Like, you can never give them enough information, enough times in order for them to get it and understand it properly, as well as their parents. And I would say their parents more than them, because they spend most of their time with their, most of the time with their parents. But if their parents can get a grip of it and a grasp, it can help them translate it down to the young man as well.
Yeah. Well put, Ed.
Well, right there, that last point right there is big. We have to educate parents, especially when their son or daughter is extremely talented, to move to the next level from high school, especially.
Yes.
Now college is, here comes the money, and then here comes pro, which the lifestyle is so completely different.
Yes.
You get hit from all angles about all different things, and mommy and daddy aren't necessarily right there, even though some parents do travel with their youngster until they get older. Obviously, it's completely different. And you made another good point earlier, where the failure, not so much that they don't succeed on the courts or the field, they don't know how to handle all the extraneous stuff, including money, wrong agent, wrong financial advisor. You've heard many times how somebody all of a sudden went broke because they had the wrong people around them. And again, we've got to get to these parents to make them realize, because you have the biggest influence on your kid, even when they're older than us outsiders. We can give you information as a high school coach. And by the way, Carl, I think you said former. I'm still at it, baby. I'm still at it. I'm at Smithfield High School.
He was former for a year. He had a 1 year retirement. He came back.
He keeps calling him. He keeps calling him. He can't help it.
Hey,
Carl, it's a drug.
I took 1 year off, and I saw more games
than I did. He went to more than I did. He's fucking me on Tuesday night. Come to his game.
Matt said, "Hey, they film the games. Why don't you just watch them on TV?" I said, "That's why I'm going crazy. I got to get out and watch.
You got to smell the grass. I got to smell the grass.
I got to smell that gym and whatever." And what I did in that 1 year, Carl, was very simple. I watched everything. I watched coaches, why they called timeout, why didn't they? Where did they sit on the benches? I watched everything.
Yeah,
I know I'm coming back. But I think, Carl, and I'm knowing, and I'm hearing a guy at your level, you're at a professional level, but yet you've had youngsters go on to the next level. You sit in a chair where you can 360 your head and say, I can see where the problem is. I can see where the problem is coming, because you're getting the quote end result now that they're pros, because you're telling these youngsters who are making $27,000 more than you, hey man, this is what you have to do if you're going to succeed at this level. And if you don't, that's on you. I'm still going to be around, but you won't be.
Yeah. And it's okay. Because the thing you said, when I go speak to these college universities, I tell all these kids, I said, whatever your career is going to be, I've seen it like 100 times over. If you're going to be a Hall of Famer, that's okay. And I wish you well. But I've seen that career, and I've seen whether you're going to play 1 or 2 years, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't get the information that's going to help you be the best that you can be and make the best decisions beyond football. Because, football is a means to an end, and it will end, and you will have hopefully another 50 years of living to do to impact the world. And so take advantage, use football. Don't let it use you, obviously, because the programs that we have for players, and the NFL have for players, are just invaluable in terms of supporting players. And the one thing that kills me with most of our NFL players, they say, I don't have the time. They have more time than college players and high school kids. They work 9 to 5 and they come home and do nothing. So we push them to continue to take advantage of that time to work on life beyond football as well. So, but it's a great thing. I love working with the youngsters, and I'm like you, Ed, I can't get away from helping a young kid. I don't know how to do it. Sometimes I wish I can turn it off, but if I see a kid with potential, man, it feels so good to see him go on and to have a career like Bruce Smith or Lawrence, the greats that have pursued higher levels of opportunities, man. It is the best thing. It's the best feeling in the world.
What it's all about. Before we get you out of here, and I see my man Will Garlick's watching on Instagram, Will V Prep, saying he'll be there next week. What will the folks like Will and others see if they come out next Saturday for the football camp? If they want to get involved, be it sign up, or even just help with the HRYF, how can they do so? Give us kind of the rundown.
Yeah, definitely. Please come out to the camp at Christopher Newport. Obviously, 30th year, number of players coming through. We're going to just have, obviously, for me, it's about the skill development, fundamentals, but it's also about the life skills and leadership skills too. But the one area I really want to focus in on is coming to our 30 for 30 celebration reception that Friday at the Virginia Air Space Museum in Hampton, Virginia. Please come out. We're having a sit-down fireside chat with Van Malone, who's also the head football coach for Hampton University. He and I met the other couple of weeks ago, and man, he's an incredible human being when it comes to the things that he has planned for Hampton, but also, being from the Texas area, he has a great insight on high school football, but also he played in the NFL. I remember him in the NFL. We were talking about the time when I was working for the NFLPA, he was playing. And so he has great perspective. So we'll do a fireside chat with him. Mike London is getting honored there for all of what he's done. So we hope all the tribe family, alumni, people from the Hampton Roads area, please purchase your tickets now. Please go to our website, hryf.org, and please purchase the tickets. Come out and support. We're going to have a number of NFL players there supporting newly drafted players as well as former players there, Aaron Brooks and others. So come out Friday night from 7 to 10 at the Virginia Air Space Museum, and go to our Instagram account, HRYF757. Take a look at that and just really come out and support all of the events next week. And the bowling party that night is for all family and friends. We're going to have a good time. We're going to sum it up with a nice friendly game of bowling, and all the players will be there. And so it's just a good fun-filled event. And we just so happy and so proud and thank platforms like yours and Ed for allowing us to promote what we're doing for 30 years, man. I mean, it's just been incredible. And I can't thank you both enough for having me on to talk about it. I really can't.
Well, it's awesome what you and Vernon and the group are doing with the youth here. And I know Ed's going to chime in on something. Go ahead, because I got to make sure I get something out to Carl before we let him go, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, my last thing, Carl, one of these years, you got to get you, me, and this fool in the pool, get us a pro guy. We're the foursome on a bowling team, and we'll take on 4 pros.
I would love it. I would love it. Let's do it. I love it. I love it. I'm a striker, man. I get it done.
I'm free next Saturday night. I don't know what Ed's got playing next Saturday night, but it's funny. You bring up Mike London, who I'm getting a text. I'm walking my neighborhood, Carl. This is like on a random Wednesday night last July. Yeah. And Mike London texts me and says, I'm watching your show on TV. I didn't even know it was on, by the way. He's watching the show. And then I'm in the gym. This is during the Allen Iverson Classic. I'm actually having one on Iverson during the day. And there's Mike London and me. He's watching his grandson play for Lafayette. His grandson, Cordell, who, by the way, dropped, I think, 27 on Ed when they beat the Smithfield Packers this past year. But watching his grandson play hoops this past year. Ed's glad his grandson's moving on to the next level at Gildan no more. So, yeah, but it's just all the connections wherever you go. The 757, it's worldwide, isn't it?
I really do. I really love it, man. Like I said, come out and support Mike next Friday, please. Virginia Air Space Museum. He's a great speaker. He always has great messages, and we are honoring him for the Impact Award, man, what he's done for that community. I mean, you take for granted a guy who's been able to coach, in the NFL, University of Virginia, be successful at William and Mary. I mean, this guy really is a legend in our area. He really is.
National title at Richmond, yeah.
National title, Richmond. I mean, look at it. He's done it at all 3 major institutions in the state of Virginia. That is huge. I mean, that's something that needs to be celebrated enough. So come out next Friday night from 7 to 10 at Virginia Air and Space Museum in Hampton, Virginia, and support Mike. And also the football camp at Christopher Newport from 8 to 12:30. And we're just going to have a lot of fun next weekend. Please come out, support everybody.
Awesome. And last thing, if they want to find out more, they can find it online at hryf.org.
Yep, hryf.org. Go online, take a look, and leave a message. Call us, let us know, and they can go to all our Instagram and Facebook. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over the place. So LinkedIn. So let us know all out. They can go anywhere to those platforms and take a look and see what's out there for them.
Perfect. In fact, I see Coach London just chimed in on Instagram too. He's watching. But always a pleasure, Carl. Best to you. I'm sure we'll be around soon. And have a great weekend, and we'll talk down the road.
My guy. Hey, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Matthew, man. Love you guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, man. Take care.
Carl Francis here with the NFL Players Association. More to come here as we put the finishing touches on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe. They're watching where, Ed?
Cobalt Sports TV.
Now this from those that don't make it possible. Back in a bit.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
I'm here with Highland class of 2028 wing Isaiah Carter, 6'7", part of the Hawks standout squad here, as they were able to get 4 victories the last 2 days. DMV Live over DeMatha and O'Connell's Day, and then today you get victories over Blue Ridge and St. Christopher's. Tell me how the off-season grind's been going. I know a lot of recruiting attention's been having you blow up even more too.
I mean, it's really just a grind, you know. Me and my guys get in the gym every day. We compete, get after it, and it just kind of builds trust. We're able to translate into games.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you've got a couple new offers here, Maryland and Syracuse. Tell me about it.
They were good. You know, I had great conversation with the coach coming off of a really great night Friday night with the team, 2 big wins. And, you know, they just said they were really impressed with the way I played. And, you know, I'm just blessed to get an offer from the schools.
Absolutely. I know more probably coming for you now as a top 100 prospect nationally in the class of 2028. Now, I watched you a couple years ago as a freshman at John Marshall. You go to Highland last year, part of a team that plays a top-level schedule. What was different in your game from freshman to sophomore year? And then it says for me, what's different in your game now as you go into junior year?
I would just say I evolved, you know, I'm not the same player. You know, I can still do the same things that, you know, made me stand out back then, but, just evolving, adding, be able to dribble, guard, picking up new things, just making myself even more useful.
Yeah, you make some really impactful plays. Which do you enjoy more, though, getting that game-changing block or the rim-rattling slam?
I mean, honestly, I think the block gives you even more energy than the dunk, especially if your teammates can come up with a rebound after. It just changes the momentum versus 2 points is 2 points. Versus if you can save that 2 points and get the momentum, it's huge.
What is it you're hearing from college coaches that they like most about your game, or even just from your own coaches that they're hearing from college coaches that they like about your game that makes you translate so well?
They like that I can shoot the ball and that I compete. I just get after it.
But you watch hoops, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, of
Who are the
course.
dudes you watch, college and pros, that you try to study and emulate on the court?
I watch Trey Murphy. I'm starting to watch a lot of Jaylen Brown getting downhill, learning the attack, trying to add that piece of my game.
I mentioned the new offers from the Terps and Orange. Who else are you hearing from, and who are you hoping to get offers from?
I'm hearing from a lot of high major schools. I'm just hoping to, continue the track I'm going, and hopefully coaches will see what I can do and, receive offers from their schools.
Did you have a childhood favorite growing up?
I always like Kansas. My dad's from Kansas, and so that would be one. That'd be a really special one.
Absolutely. I know a lot of guys from Loaded have gone and played for the Jayhawks. A lot of guys from Boo played. Tell me about just what you've learned in the last year in your game. What's kind of helped you on this journey?
Just the people supporting me. I have a really great group of people helping me get to where I want to go and helping me, make these strides, navigate everything, because it's a crazy world. And so I think the biggest thing that helped me was just having a group that supports me no matter what I do.
What do you think the best part of your game is?
I would say shooting the ball.
Okay. What is it about shooting the ball that gets you amped? Because you got really talented teammates. I know Jordan Hunter out here's balling out, Braden Ragland, of course Ross. I could go through a list of guys on this squad. Asari's playing well. What makes this team unique? Because it feels like you guys have big goals in front of you.
I'd say just our chemistry. We're a super close group last year, and that kind of made us special last year. But now we have the talent to compete at a really high level. Bringing in Hunter especially helped. And, I think one thing we maintained was our chemistry through all that.
Sure. And lastly, what would be a successful junior campaign for you? What are the things that you want to have on the goals checklist this year as you go into the final campaign before you get to college?
I say our goal is to win state championship and potentially a national championship. I feel like we can go undefeated this season if we really buy in, and I think that's the dream. Personally, I would love to get Gatorade, but I just whatever the team can do is what I'm happy with.
And I cheated. One more I got to throw to you. Nate Ament just got drafted. When you see that coming from the school you're at now, how much is that a motivating factor for what you want to get to one day potentially?
I mean, it's huge. I built a relationship with him before I came here. He told me a lot, just about what it would be like here and how they would help you. And so to see him kind of follow through with that process and reach the dream is a blessing. And to have someone, that I can follow in their shoes to do potentially is really special.
Big dreams and aspirations for 2028 talent, Isaiah Carter of Highland School. Thank you so much.
Of course.
4th of July weekend, folks. You gotta be careful. Whatever you do, obey the law. Because I know a battery and a firework that were arrested. One got charged, and the other got let off.
And that's going to wrap up this episode of 757 Sports Talk. Why are you shaking your head over there? Great interview with Isaiah Carter. You didn't like that?
Interview is great. By the way, he will be a Kansas Jayhawk in the future.
Well, it's funny. It's so ironic that he said that was the dream school of his, and then later that day or the next day got off by KU, as if they hadn't seen the interview or something. But it was so ironic. And by the way, you heard Carl French say earlier, I mentioned some of the names that got drafted this show, like Kalon Black, Dalen Everett. We're going to see, I think, on next week's show, we wouldn't do it today, but we're going to say it for next week for time purposes, Damo Everett, the young quarterback from Maury, younger brother of that Steelers draft choice, Dalen Everett. So there you go, a little tease there,
Well, I don't know, that last Spoon to Pool segment was worse, or is the president or the GM, whatever the heck Brad Stevens is, and I'm going to be calm on this because it's already hot outside. How in the hell do you give away one of the top players in the NBA to a rival who gives you the most problems at times for nothing? Nothing. They got a bag of chips, broken down Paul George, and 3 picks from the class of kids that are in 6th grade right now.
Because, to simply sum it up for you, Edward, they weren't going to pay 2 guys, and those 2 guys being Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, $600 million combined, and because the Celtics, in their infinite wisdom, it might not be Brad Stevens' fault. I know he's the easy whipping boy right now, but they didn't want to part ways with Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman, and they're of the opinion that Peyton Pritchard's the next Jalen Brunson. So I said they didn't want to part with Gonzalez and Shireman. They could have got Giannis, the Greek freak, and they could have got Jamal Murray from the Nuggets. They could have made a couple of different deals. But they think Pritchard's the next Brunson. So when Peyton Pritchard is not performing at Jalen Brunson level, there you go. There you go.
I would give Pritchard away right now for 5 Spoon-to-Pool jokes.
Oh, would you?
That's how much I think of Pritchard is for being another
Well,
kid.
don't worry. Next week we'll have 5 more new Poolside Adventures for you on 757 Sports Talk and Cova Sports TV. Have a great 4th, and make sure you get the most bang for your buck. Bang for your buck.
Make sure you drink water. Hydrate, people. Hydrate.
See you later.